Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today into something you might not expect. Prayer at work.
No, that might sound a little unusual.
Right, like doesn't prayer belong in church or, at home?
Exactly. But the book we're looking at today, The Professional Believer's Guide, well, it makes a really strong case for bringing prayer into the workplace.
Chapters 10 and 13 are where we're focused. And honestly, it's pretty eye-opening stuff.
Yeah, it's not about like turning your office into a prayer meeting.
More like how prayer can be a real tool for navigating your career, making decisions, handling the tough stuff.
You know, that direct line concept, talking to the ultimate decision maker.
Right. And it's not just theoretical. The author, she actually shares a story about how prayer helped her through a public health crisis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was in a leadership position, tons of pressure, and she says prayer gave her these strategic insights,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even before problems popped up. Like she was prepared in advance.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, if prayer can actually give you that kind of edge.
That's what chapter 10 is all about. The importance of believing, not just going through the motions.
Like really having faith that God's listening and wants to guide you.
And that's where the power comes in, knowing you've got that backup.
Like having the best mentor in the world on speed dial.
Exactly. But it's not about, demanding things or trying to force God's hand.
Right, more like understanding his will and aligning your prayers with that.
The book uses this great analogy, like pitching an idea to your boss.
Ah,
If your idea only helps you, not the company, it's going to get rejected, right?
makes sense.
So with prayer, it's about seeing the bigger picture and asking for guidance that fits into God's plan.
I like that. So it's not just about getting ahead, it's about, serving a greater purpose.
And the book gives some really practical examples, like praying about which jobs to pursue, what skills to develop,
Even how to deal with difficult coworkers. Oh man, we've all been there.
right? Picture it. That annoying colleague suddenly becomes way easier to work with, all because you prayed about it.
Okay, now that's a result I could get behind. But how do we actually pray at work? Is there like a right way to do it?
Well, the book does offer a model prayer in chapter 10.
Okay, so like a template.
Exactly. Something to get you started. Not a rigid formula or anything, but it's helpful.
Can we take a look at it? Break it down a bit.
Absolutely. Let's walk through it together.
Awesome. I'm all ears.
All right, so it starts off by acknowledging God's presence.
Right, like acknowledging that he's there with you at work, in your office.
And expressing gratitude for the opportunity to work.
Yeah, gratitude is so powerful. It shifts your whole perspective.
Definitely. And then you get into specific requests for guidance, for wisdom in your role, in your projects.
This is where you can really get into the nitty-gritty. Like, okay, God, I'm struggling with this presentation. I need your help.
Exactly. And the book really emphasizes surrendering your own understanding at this point.
Right, because we don't always see the whole picture. God does.
So it's about trusting that he knows what's best, even if it's not what we initially thought.
Like trusting the GPS even when it takes you a weird way. Sometimes the scenic route is the better one.
Love that analogy.
Okay.
Okay, so we've acknowledged God, expressed gratitude, made our requests, and surrendered our understanding.
What's next?
The next part focuses on aligning your will with God's will, like saying, God, use me for your purpose, not just my own.
I'm sensing a theme here. Surrender, alignment. It's all about trusting God more than ourselves.
Definitely. And the prayer ends with a declaration of faith, affirming that God hears you and is working things out.
So you walk away feeling confident, like you've handed it over to a higher power.
Exactly. And speaking of higher power, let's talk about divine favor. Chapter 13 dives deep into this. It's like experiencing preferential treatment.
Wait, hold on. Isn't that a bit, unfair?
Good question. It's not about getting ahead unfairly or manipulating others. It's more about aligning yourself with God's purpose.
Okay, so not like cutting the line or anything.
Right. It's about tapping into blessings and opportunities that wouldn't be possible otherwise.
Intriguing. Can you give an example?
Yeah, the author shares this amazing story about being offered multiple job opportunities all at once,
Wow. Talk about a good problem to have.
but also a tough decision. How do you choose the right path?
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. So how did she decide?
She prayed about it and sought wise counsel, talked to people she trusted, and ultimately it led her to this incredible career growth.
So prayer helped her navigate that crossroads, find the right fit.
Exactly. And I think that's a powerful takeaway for all of us. It's like no matter how smart or successful we are, there's always a bigger picture we might be missing.
Definitely. So how do we actually start using prayer at work, if someone's totally new to this?
The book says start small, find a specific challenge you're facing. Could be a project, a difficult person, anything.
Okay, got it. Then what?
Bring that challenge to God in prayer. Ask for guidance, ask for wisdom, and, for strength to handle it.
Like a mini timeout, hitting pause on the stress and asking for help.
Exactly. And remember that model prayer. It's a great framework, especially when you're starting out.
Okay, right. The template. So walk me through an example. Let's say I'm totally stuck on this project. Deadline's looming, and I'm drawing a blank.
Perfect example. You start by acknowledging God's presence and expressing gratitude for the opportunity to even work on this project.
Okay, gratitude even when I'm freaking out. Got it.
Then you get specific. God, I need your guidance on this project. Show me how to approach it. Give me creative solutions.
And here's where I let go of my own ideas, right? The ones that clearly aren't working.
Yeah, surrender your limited understanding. Say, God, I trust you have a better plan, even if I don't see it yet.
Deep breath, trust the process.
And don't forget to ask for strength, to work effectively, to stay calm, to be a good teammate.
So it's not just about solving the problem, it's about how I handle it too. My attitude, my emotional state.
Exactly. Prayer can impact all of that. And consistency is key.
Yeah.
The book suggests finding a specific time and place to pray each day.
Like building a habit.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe it's 5 minutes before a big meeting or a quiet walk during your lunch break.
Little pockets of peace in a crazy day.
I love that. And as we're talking, I can't help but think, what if more workplaces embrace this? Not in a forced way, but
Creating a culture where people feel comfortable bringing their faith to work.
yeah, it could lead to more compassion, more ethical behavior.
A more supportive environment overall. Less cutthroat,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's be real. Sometimes prayer feels, well, unanswered. Things don't go the way we hoped.
That's a tough one. Makes you question things.
The book reminds us God's timing isn't always our timing. Just because we don't see an immediate answer.
Doesn't mean he's not working behind the scenes.
Right. It's like planting a seed. We don't see the growth right away, but it's happening underground.
Patience is a virtue, as they say. But man, it's hard when you're going through something tough.
Absolutely. And it's okay to feel disappointed, to question, to grieve.
We're human, not robots.
But the key is, don't let those feelings stop you from praying.
Keep showing up. Keep the conversation going, even when it's hard.
Because sometimes those tough moments, they actually deepen our faith, make our relationship with God stronger.
Through all this talk about prayer, it really makes you think, what could change if more of us tapped into this at work?
That's a powerful question. And as we wrap up our deep dive on chapters 10 and 13, I want to leave you with a few things to consider.
Fire away. I'm ready to take notes.
First, take some time to think about your own work life. What challenges are you facing right now? Where could you use some divine guidance?
Identify those pressure points, where the stress is high.
Then write your own version of that model prayer. Make it personal, specific to your job, your goals, your situation.
Make it real, not just something you read in a book.
And finally, find one small way to incorporate prayer into your work this week.
Just one small step.
Maybe it's praying before a meeting. Maybe it's a gratitude prayer before you start a task. Anything.
The point is, start somewhere.
Exactly. Because you never know, that small step could create a ripple effect. Not just in your own life, but in your whole workplace.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. Ready to give this a try.
Before we go, let's revisit that model prayer one more time, just to really solidify it.
Yeah, good idea. It's like the foundation for all of this.
It starts by acknowledging God's presence, recognizing that He's there with us in our work.
Right, and being grateful for the opportunity to work, to use our gifts.
Then we move into asking for guidance and wisdom in those specific areas where we're struggling.
Like, okay, God, I need help making this decision, or navigating this tricky situation with a coworker.
And remembering to surrender our understanding, letting go of our own limited view.
That's always a tough one for me, wanting to control everything.
I get it, but trusting that God has a better plan, even if we don't see it yet, that's key.
And aligning our will with His will, saying, God, use me for your purpose.
Then we end by declaring our faith, that He hears us, that He's working things out even when we can't see it.
And that's where the peace comes in. Knowing we've done our part, we've asked for guidance, surrendered the outcome.
So as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this. Imagine a world where every workplace was filled with people praying like this.
Wow. That's a powerful thought.
People seeking God's guidance in their work, making decisions based on his principles, treating each other with more compassion and respect.
It could be a game changer, not just for individuals, but for companies, for industries, for the whole world.
And it all starts with us, taking those small steps, making prayer a regular part of our work lives, trusting that God can use us to make a difference, right where we are. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll see you next time.